Hello.
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Okay,
Audible
good.
and visible.
Okay, so today, sorry, this was kind of had to be pushed to Friday, Saturday, because of some other meetings that was there on Friday that I had. So today I will not be going. I don't want to go into too much of details of uh, of new things or something, or I will use a different technique to kind of tell you guys about the new thing. But I would like to get to know from you, how are you thinking about this course? I mean, are you liking it? Are you enjoying it? Is it slow? Is it fast? Is there any particular area that you found to be uh, mm, not well explained, or you have confusion with, or some part of it was like trivial and could be escaped? Because every year the MTech batches comes with a different variety of people with different backgrounds, and particularly this year there is this online thing going on, right? So it would be very good to get some feedback from you guys about what is going on. So, and if you have any doubts, any questions, yeah.
Sir, I want to tell you something. In my undergrad, I didn't focus much on the graph theory. Like I focused, but I felt a lot of difficulties in graph theory. Like I wanted to solve some difficult problems. So, can we?
No, of course. See. I mean, this course is not not over, right? So we will do a lot of things that's coming up, right? We will do a lot of graph theory. We will do a lot of counting and all. We are just kind of starting the whole course. But what I'm asking is that currently, whatever has been done so far, right? I mean, like, see, now we have not done lots of things of graph theory, but did you get a good hang of graph theory in general, or graphs in general? Is there some places there where you have where you are not clear about, or propositional logic? So the main thing that we have covered till now is some kind of some basics of the mathematical formulations, propositional and predicate logic, graph theory. I mean, rather introduction to graphs. And right now we had just started working on some proof techniques. We have just started on that. So,
Excuse me, sir.
yeah.
I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
I don't speak for the whole class, obviously, but I think a couple of my friends might also agree with me.
Yeah.
Before the start of the next lecture, if you could tell us which topics you are planning on covering on that lecture, we can read up whatever is there, the fundamental definitions maybe, and then during the class, you can just read through the definitions, and then we can immediately start with problems or doubts that the students have. This way, we can cover up a larger portion in lesser time, so that instead of you teaching everything, we take half the load on ourselves so that we study, and then you can kind of help us with our questions and we can solve more problems that way, because currently it is a little slow.
Yes, sir. I also agree with this.
Completely agree.
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, good that you guys are kind of willing to do the reading beforehand, so that will be kind of very useful in that respect. Okay. So, okay, the point taken. Okay, I mean, I will surely, yeah, I was anyway thinking in this direction, but yeah. So, yeah. Any other comments? Any other questions?
Sir, how do we submit the assignments?
In the classroom, you have to write it in LaTeX and submit it in the classroom.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir. Am I audible?
Barely audible. I cannot hear you much.
Okay, sir. Let me fix it. Then I will fix.
Somebody else wants to give some comment, suggestions, something?
Sir.
Yeah.
So can we use some customized templates instead of?
Yeah. I mean, you can do for LaTeX. I am not worried about what template that you are using. Okay. I'm more interested in the fact that you know how to write a LaTeX stuff, and that's it.
And sir, I will also comment that we must give more focus to problem solving than to the theories.
Okay. Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, problem solving will certainly be a part of it. Okay. I mean, right now we are going very slow. Okay. So I completely agree with that, because it's always the case in discrete math, because we start from, because we have to ensure that everybody in the class kind of are in a certain level, right? So every year it turns very slow, and very soon we will be kind of looking at various problems and all, and going into more details of problem solving techniques and all. But yeah, so we will do a lot of more problems very soon. Okay, within a week or so, I am sure that you will be bombarded with problems.
Hello, sir. Am I audible now?
Yeah. Now you can audio. Yeah.
Sir, actually, regarding the assignment, there is one question which actually I need some more clarification on that.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, I have not. I don't think I have even looked at the question. So if you tell me, yeah, I will take a look at it.
There is one question just. I
Yeah,
think there is,
I can say.
okay, sir. So there is one question. I think question number 7 regarding. So there was one question regarding a party in which several people are invited. So do you know that question?
It's okay. A party with at least 2 people. There are at least 2 people who know the same number of people. Okay, good.
So, sir, my question is that first of all, that is every person has to be invited, or there can be some uninvited people as well.
No, I mean, what we invited and uninvited. I mean, I don't care about invited. I mean, it's like whoever is there in the party. Let's say. I mean, the invited is not a word. What it about?
The second thing is that can a person be invited by more than one person?
See, it's not about the invited part. I think you have got a completely wrong. You have gone in a complete wrong direction.
Like 2 persons can invite us one person.
Just once again, there are 2 persons who know same number of people. But every person is like one. Yeah. So yeah, 2 persons might invite this. Actually,
Hello, sir.
actually, you don't need this extra condition. Okay.
But actually, when we put n equals to 2, when we take the case when the number of people are 2, in that case, this condition is not satisfying.
Which condition?
That there will be at least 2 people who know the same number of people.
Okay. Think of it. Is it not possible?
Suppose there are only 2 people, A and B.
Yes. Yeah.
So definitely A will invite B, suppose, but B won't invite A. There won't be any cycles of invite.
See, okay, forget this invitation part. Okay, so I think there's some misunderstanding over here. Okay, so say just look at the first line before the comma. Okay, so prove that at a party. So maybe I can just share my screen. That will help you. Okay, so here, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So prove that at a party with at least 2 people, there are at least 2 people who know the same number of people, not necessarily the same people. Okay. Period. Let's stop it there. Forget this other half.
Okay. Okay. For them.
Forget there's no the invitation part and all that. It's a bit
Hello.
confusing.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah.
Actually, I asked the same doubt to TS on a mail.
Yeah.
And actually, my doubt was that if A is invited, I mean, A knows B, then if B knows A as well. So
yes, so that is the thing that is important. Yeah. If A knows B, B knows A. That is important.
If A knows B, then B also knows A.
Yes. So this is something that you need to use. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Then I think it is clear. Okay. Thank you, sir.
So there are some set of n people in a party, but n is, so maybe if I write it. Yeah. So there are n people in a party. Okay. And if A knows B, then B knows A. Now, of course, the n has to be bigger than or equal to 2. That's all that says. Okay. Now, prove that there exists at least 2 people, okay, such that the number of people, the 2 people, let me call this one X and Y, number of people X knows is same as the number of people Y knows. Okay, that's it. This is what you have to prove.
The 2 people versus data.
Sorry? Hello? I couldn't hear you.
Sir, there is another condition that everybody knows at least one person.
You don't need that.
No, I mean, you kind of do, right?
Sir, the property.
I mean, for pigeonhole principle, you do.
No, you don't need that.
Sir,
I mean, if a person doesn't know anybody, then they don't know anybody.
Then for 2, there can be one person. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Condition that A knows B, then B knows A, take care of this thing as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sir, whether a person has to be known by at least one person.
Not necessary. See, those are like special cases that you can make it more harder and easier and all. Just think of this problem. Solve this problem. That's it. Okay. If you really want to add that one, I can add that one, which basically this is that every person, for every person there is okay, so every person knows at least one person, at least one other person. Okay. Now, actually, if you assume this one, it is slightly easier. If you don't assume this one, it is slightly harder. But not too much, okay? So, both of them have the same proof.
Sir, can I ask one doubt?
Yeah.
I mean, if someone is already in a party, that means that person already knows someone, right? Because
Yeah,
it is
so
symmetric relation.
you can assume so. Yeah. So that's what I think this thing was there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not necessary. I mean, haven't you crashed some party? Haven't you been to some random person's wedding and yeah? Sorry?
Sir, can you explain this line again? Such that the number of people X knows is same as the number of people Y.
Okay. So X knows some set of people, right? X knows some set of people. Y also knows some set of people. Okay. So we want to say that this number of people they know, number of people X know, and number of people Y know is same. Or say, let's think of it this way, okay? So there is a party of your batchmates, okay? Fine. Of all the people in this class, there is a party. Now you possibly don't know all of them, right? But you know some of them. So you come and tell me that, oh, see, I know 6 of them. Okay. Then I'm saying, okay. Similarly, every other person can come and say, that, oh, I know 3 people, or I know 1 person, or I know 15%. Okay. Fine. Now the idea is that if you know somebody, somebody else also knows you. Somebody knows you. Sorry. If you know person B, the person B knows you. This is the extra condition that's known. Okay. So under this situation, you want to prove that there is at least 2 people in your batch who knows the same number of people. Meaning there's 2 persons say, which say, oh, okay. So person 1 says that, oh, see, I know 10 people, and person 15 also says that I also know 10 people. That doesn't mean the same 10 people, but some 10 people. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Sir, one more doubt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sir, is it like a maximum number of people that a person can have 10 minus or 10 minus know himself is?
Yeah. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Maximum number of people. How many can they know? It's n minus one, right? If there's n people, then n minus one.
Like a person cannot know himself, right?
Huh?
Like knowing himself is not used,
No,
right?
knowing himself is not counted. Yeah. So Neeraj Kumar send me a private thing. I just say I will just address to Neeraj Kumar. Hello. So Neeraj Kumar asked me some question, told me some idea, so I can just address to Neeraj Kumar. Yeah, you are right in whatever you are saying. Okay, so some other. Hello. Yeah. Yeah.
Sir, I have two small doubts.
Yeah.
In question number 3B and question number 6B.
3B and 6B. Just 1 second. Okay.
Sir, in 3B, PQ are distinct to primes. Distinct primes.
Distinct primes. Yeah, of course.
Okay. And 6B, the question is saying that we have to prove that 2 to the power n minus 1 is prime when n is prime. Although this is not true for n is equal 11.
What is written there?
Sir, 6B.
Yeah. What is the assumption? What is the deduction?
2 to the power n minus 1 is prime when n is prime.
No. No.
Okay. Then, okay.
Okay. Think about it.
Okay. What? Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. Any other doubts, comments?
Sir, can we have an overall discussion after submission of this assignment?
Of course, we'll have that.
Okay, sir.
Of course, we'll have that. After submission of the assignment, we will have an overall discussion. Particularly, we will also be trying to upload a sample model answer. Okay, and it will be very important for you to kind of know the model answer. Okay, I'm not saying that the model answer is the only way of writing that. Only that is the only correct answer. Okay, you can write any answer and they will be fine. Okay, but the more important thing is that. Okay, the more important thing is that we want you to also learn. This is a part of the discrete math course of how to write something precisely. Okay, for example, this proofs and disproofs, proof or disproof kind of questions and all. Okay, how to write it formally, or the number 7, how to write it formally. Okay, so that part is there. So I will request all of you once we upload the kind of model answers and all, okay, to do that. This is also the reason why all these kind of things are being done slowly when we take up some small problems and solve it. Okay, none of the problems are non-trivial. I know that most of you know how to prove it. I mean, in the proof techniques, we are doing certain things, right? The idea is not to necessarily give you the concept of how to prove something or something. That is of course there, because we will soon come to much more complicated ones. But also one part of it is the how to write a proof. Okay, the formal writing of proof is something that is a part of this course. Okay, so I mean, so we will do a discussion, and even when you are submitting it also, I would request you to write it in the best possible way. You are not there's no need to write something obvious statements. Okay, that is not required. Writing obvious statement is completely useless. Okay, at the same time, I mean, not explaining things properly is also not fine. So this is a fine line that this comes down to. Okay, so this is something that you have to do it, and particularly say something like in problem 7. Okay, you should not write a big English explanation. Try to write a mathematical proof. Okay, and an essay type answer is not expected, or not, it should not be given. Okay.
Sir, do we need to upload the source file?
No, no. We just upload the PDF.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other question that you have? But yeah, there was some problem that was been kind of talked about, like the handshake problem and all those kind of stuff that has been discussed. Rather, but proof has not been discussed yet. We will do the proof at some point of time. But that should not stop you guys from going ahead and kind of trying them out. Okay, try them out, and if you can solve it, then very good, right? We want you to kind of be proactive and try to solve it beforehand. As and when the time comes, we will be, of course, giving you the solutions or doing the solutions and all. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, I have a doubt. In question number 8, monotonically increasing means non-decreasing, right?
Monotonically increasing means non-decrease. No, so
or strictly increasing?
Strictly increasing.
Okay. Thank you.
It's a strictly increasing. Yeah. Yeah. So further, I don't know whether you guys. So here you can try it out a different problem, which will come to you at some point of time later on. But I can tell you to think about it already. And what happens if it is non-decreasing? Is it easy to prove? What is the number? Okay. Yeah.
So n plus m minus 1, choose m.
No, hold on. I am not interested in the solution right now, right? This is not a very useful thing. Okay, if you want to send me this solution or tell me this solution, you can send me by private chat.
So I've sent like both. Like I've uploaded the assignment with both versions.
That is very good, but I mean, I request you to kind of, I mean, particularly the assignment questions or anything of this kind of stuff, let your friends try it out first before you kind of publicly tell them the assignment solutions. Okay. By the way, you are right, whatever you told, but yeah. So, any other things? Comments, questions? So let me just, I mean, just to kind of ensure that nobody is kind of left behind, because I'm always worried about the fact that there is a group of people who possibly are like a bit shy about telling what's going on and all. So I will kind of have some few polls that are there. Okay, and they are kind of one-liners kind of stuff like that. So please answer them in the most honest way you can think of. This is just to help us understand how things are going on and all. So I've just uploaded a poll. Can you just give me the feedback? Okay, I got. I don't know how many of you are there. Okay, so this is. Thanks for this poll. I think I got an overall idea. So there are quite a few of you who have told that, not quite, most of you have told it is a perfect space, which is fine. And there is like almost some 5 people have told that it's a bit fast and 5 people have told it's a bit slow. Okay, oh sorry, I made a mistake. Bit slow. So bit slow and very slow in 2 levels are there. So of course, people who find it to be a bit slow, I mean, you have to kind of live with it for some time, some week or so before the course pace picks up. Okay. By the way, I mean, just for your MTech students and all. So, I mean, if you know this course, are you allowed to kind of sit out of this course by giving an exam? Do you know that?
No, sir, it's a compulsory course for all the MTech students.
And you cannot sit out, right?
No.
Okay, so I mean, so that's a problem. I mean, like, it will kind of, yeah, it will be a bit slow, and particularly if you are coming from with a proper knowledge in discrete math, then you might find it slow throughout the course a bit. Okay, I'm sorry to say that, but I mean, pace will pick up, but still it might be slower than what you expect. People who kind of thought it to be a bit fast, okay, I would really request you guys to, I mean, contact us, okay, maybe contact the TAs, and we can have a separate, I mean, just have a discussion about where are you finding it to be fast, or where are you struggling, or something like that. Okay, not many of you are there, but please, I mean, we might have to kind of work out some and work with you a little bit more for this thing, because the course, of course, as I told you, will become faster as it goes on. Okay, we are kind of still in the starting stages. The first 2 weeks and maybe even part of the next week will be a bit of a starting stage stuff, but yeah, so please identify yourselves, write a mail to the TAs, and then we will get to that. Okay. The other thing that is there that I want to know is this material that we have done. So maybe this is something possibly we're kind of giving the similar result, but let's see. Okay, good. So this also gives me a decent idea. Okay, so and this is almost like split up into kind of equal set. I mean, half of you class are saying that most of it is known beforehand, and but I mean, some say that it's good to recap, and some say that they knew it well. But then the other half of the class says that, I mean, either you know only some of it or very less of it. Okay, thanks. Good. So, so this gives me a very good idea about what's going on here. Okay, so now I think I will not be doing a too long a class today. Okay, so if you recall, what we were doing last class was that we were started to do with the we started to work out on the kind of proof techniques. Okay, that was there, and we had kind of gone over some of it. Okay, so we told that there are certain proof techniques that are there, and we kind of gave an overall idea about how one can try to approach this proof technique, and we looked at some of the small things like which are like, I mean, all this was done so that you can understand the concept of the connection between propositional logic or the logic setup and the proof techniques that are there, and that will be very useful. Right, I mean, very useful very soon. You will see it. So these are all of these are kind of a simple thing that has been worked out. Okay, and first thing was that if the deduction that you have to do can be split up into two parts, then it is very easy to deduce these two things, right? If you break up the problem into two parts. This was what was done in the last class. Okay, and then there was also the things of that you might want to throw away some assumptions, and why is that important? And the important is that will help you in kind of go into the place that you want to solve. And we had this kind of stuff that here, I mean, what does this particular odd prime means, and so on and so forth. Right. So after that, we left it here, and how do we solve both of them? Okay. So in fact, let me tell you one thing that so there are in this rest of the lecture that is there, or the slide that I have here, we go into two parts. The first part is a case analysis kind of stuff, and the second part also is some kind of a case analysis, or just a kind of a sorry, the second part was direct proof. So sorry, yeah, there was two constructive proofs. One was the direct proof and one was the case analysis thing that we talked about. And we had gone over both the forward proof as well as the backward proof, right? Okay, so using this, we kind of gave you the proof of this second part, and the first part we did not give a proof of it. Now, what I will do is that I will not actually explain this stuff in this class. Okay, instead I will upload two slides, two set of slides. One for this thing, okay, which one of them is this this slide, which has basically the idea of how to use direct proof or case analysis to solve various things. And the next one is another thing in which you can use this. Now this will be interesting. The next slide is how to use contradiction to prove something. Okay. So I will upload these two slides, which are basic proof techniques, on the web page. Okay, and I would expect you guys to go over them, and we can discuss that in the next class on Tuesday. Okay, so so I want to try. Even before you guys had told me this one, that I wanted to try this particular technique, whether this works with this class or not. So I will not be doing this going over these slides. Okay, instead I will be giving you guys these slides. I will upload it right now in less than 5 minutes. Okay, and I will ask you guys to go and read it up, or follow these slides, and use those, and we can discuss on Tuesday about how much you guys got from that slide, or did you follow those slides, and so on. Okay, they are all simple. Okay, they are basically, if you have seen it, or you must have seen it in your even high school, I mean this case studies, proof by contradiction, and proof by contrapositive thing. Okay, and yeah, I will upload them. So I think that is what I will do today. Okay, I will not have any extra. I mean, I will not have a too much long class today. So I think that is. If you guys have some doubts, I will be happy to clear it up. Clear up those doubts. Else, I will just stop this class and I will upload the slides and ask you guys to read it and come back, and we'll have a discussion on Tuesday. Is that fine? Any questions? Any doubts? Hello? Somebody saying something I cannot hear. Any comments?
Sir, a book recommendation would also be nice.
Okay, so problem is that in this course, we will not be able to give you a book recommendation per se, as I told you, because there's no book that contains all of it in one go, okay? And whatever we are doing now is very basic. So I don't think that is there in any book as such, okay? Whatever we are doing till now is not there in any book as such. I mean, so maybe I can suggest you this following thing, that in these two books that have been the links of which, or two books or notes that have links of which have been put up in the web page, there you can look at the propositional logic part, and the in the Matusek's book there is some stuff in the beginning that are there, okay? But unfortunately there is no book at this point that we can talk about here. So I can tell you how the course will evolve. So after this, after you guys are comfortable with this this proof technique, the basic proof techniques, okay, basically proof by, if I go back here, maybe I will tell you, okay. So this will take care of, you will be doing the constructive proofs, and there will be a proof of by contradiction and the proof by contrapositive. So all these three proof structures, I will upload it, and I will expect you guys to read it, follow it, and if that happens, that's perfectly, I mean, then we can go ahead for that. Okay. Now, then we will go into this proof by induction. Now, this is something that I'm sure you guys have seen in your high school, proof by induction. But whatever we will be doing now will be a bit more non-trivial than what you did in your school. Okay, so in your school you did kind of induction on a natural numbers or induction on integers and so on and so forth. Here we will do induction on combinatorial objects, so induction on graphs and so on. And there we have to kind of go over it carefully, and we will see those. Okay. Counter example, that is kind of a, I mean, easy thing that we will just, I mean, we'll talk about it. And existential proof is something that we will not be seeing in the part of this course as such, but I will give a small lecture at some point of time on some point of time on this existential proof. Okay. So this will be for the next 2 weeks, we will be mostly focusing on induction and using induction to prove various problems either related to combinatorics or graph theory. Okay, we'll go over it one by one, and we'll look at various different kind of inductions that can be applied and so on. And once we are comfortable with all of that, okay, so within 2 weeks time, I expect that we are all conversant with the various proof techniques that are there. Then we can go into the concept of we'll go into combinatorics part, and once we do the combinatorics part, we will then, after that, we will go into graph theory part. And this is exactly how the course will kind of evolve. Okay, So, good. Okay. So, and do you have any questions, comments again? Hello. Okay. So, if not, then let's stop here today. Please check this web page. Maybe in 15 minutes time, you will see the notes or lecture notes that are required uploaded. Okay, not lecture notes, but the slides. Okay, please go over the slides. They are all easy. Okay, and then we will then meet up on Tuesday, and then we will discuss that.
Sir, this is Abhimanyu Basu from MTech CS.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question from the assignment?
Yeah, ask me.
Sir, in the question, the 2B, there's the contrapositive thing. I have evaluated the answer. Can I discuss it with you now? Or after submission of the
I think after submission is better.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, if you have any clarifications and all that you need from the assignment, we will be happy to talk about it. But since the assignments are of course graded and so on, so it will be good to kind of discuss the solutions or after your submission.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, so let's stop here now. I will upload these things in the web page shortly, and then you can take from there.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay.